Once upon a time, two boys grew up playing hockey in the village of Terrace, British Columbia. One of them went on to play in the National Hockey League. The other became a comedian. Now, one flies planes and coaches youth hockey. The other is still a comedian and owns newsstands. This is their podcast, Enjoying Orange Slices with Jeff and Ian.
We're recording, Jeff. Everything that we record now is on tape and will be used in the deposition as the Toronto Maple Leafs go to trial when they get scammed out of owning their club.
Oh, what a way to start.
Oh my God. Well, what do you, it's the playoffs. It's the greatest time in the year. And the Toronto Maple Leafs decide that they should just take this boat right into the side of the dock.
Hey, and we've all been at the lake when mom and dad are trying to back the trailer in, or they're trying to get it gets a little tense, and that's how it is right now. You see a lot of different things at the lake at the boat launch, and you see a lot of different things with the Toronto Maple Leafs. I don't know. Like, I mean, yeah, the playoffs are on, but I think you said it best yesterday. Was it, how did you put that? That they're going to stay steady the course right into the storm.
Yeah. Stay steady right into the storm.
Right into the storm.
Don't go around it. Don't go below it. Don't go over it. Go right in it.
Don't stay at the dock or in the harbor. And so you got so much good going on with the NHL playoffs. There's 8 teams left, 6 new teams this year, only 2 teams in the second round that were there last year, Carolina and Vegas. So it tells you how the league's turning over. Very exciting. But Toronto, if you haven't
cocoon's turning into a butterfly. We are stuck in a cocoon, but now there's a caterpillar. Next year it'll be a butterfly. There'll be an all new session going on. It's very beautiful. Anyways, back to you.
No, I just think the whole Toronto thing, they're making Vancouver look like they're squared away.
Just right. They make Vancouver look like they know what they're doing. It is trouble.
And I don't want to sit here because I understand a certain amount of how hard everybody works in the pro game. Like I get to spend some time with the guys.
Yes, but Jeff, it's just like everything else. I'm going to interrupt. It's just like everything else. Familiarity and who you know gets you places further than talent sometimes. And whatever reason they've decided to go with the same retread in Toronto of something that's already happened. I don't understand. I don't understand how you don't bring him at a lower level if you really believe in him and let him build up to prove to people how great he is.
Well, you know, a good friend said to me yesterday, number 1, don't hire him.
True.
Number 2, if you hire him, have an answer for the questions that are going to get asked. And we've got to hire. I mean, can you imagine Matt Sundin coming into this? Because they're bringing Matt Sundin in too. Like, he kind of gets lost in the sauce of a little bit of this yesterday. But Matt Sundin's coming in to build a bridge. He's a guy that's revered in the organization. He's revered by Maple Leaf fans. So, and I know he doesn't have any business side hockey, but to me, you know what? You can build him in, get him around the room, have him around the players, have him in your community, have him with your sponsors, with your season ticket holders, just kind of someone, a face. And, you don't really always want him out in front of the media answering some tough questions, but we saw it yesterday, and we've seen it twice now in Toronto this spring in press conferences. The tough questions don't really have answers. So it's going to be a little bit of trial by fire for him, but I think people are willing to give him some leeway. But and we're talking about the Chayka hire in Toronto.
Chayka hire in Toronto.
Yeah.
Which, to go back to people, he worked for Phoenix when he was in Phoenix. Here's where it all goes wrong. So I was talking to my wife last night, and because I'm watching NHL Network, and she's like, "What? I don't understand what's going on. Why are people so upset?" And I go, Well, he worked for a club that in Phoenix that went to a 5,000 seat arena, right? There was no real urgency in them to get out of that 5,000 seat arena. The word was the real owner wasn't the real owner. The real owner was the mafia from the Mexico. And that was the word on the street, and that's why they didn't care, because they were able to launder money through that system very easily by letting it fail, right? And that was what, and that's the quietness around the NHL about that organization. And then this guy came in and did a couple slimy, sleazy things, right? But at the same time, he was 26 when he got that job. Try to think of a 26-year-old that wouldn't try to pull something off and not realize how slimy, slicky it is. So I think you got to give him some leeway, but at the same time, I still go back to, if you really wanted him, why do you start him off? Why do you bring him back at the level he was last at where he failed?
Hmm. Yeah,
And I know you feel he shouldn't be hired at all.
no, here's the thing. There's been a lot of water going to the bridge. I'm not going to judge. I just look at how they've handled the spring in Toronto. And we saw it the other day in Edmonton, where the two superstars put the organization on notice. I would be, if I'm Austin Matthews or William Nylander, I'm Coach Berube. I'm kind of like, what's going on around here? Like, um, you know what? And so I'm not saying, like, Cheka kind of reminds me of Moneyball back, Billy Bean with, I think it was with the Oakland A's. Like,
Hmm.
he's this thinker, like kind of a outside the box thinker. So I think I don't have a problem with that. I think it looks like he's been in the game for a while, so he's probably paid his dues. Um, and yeah, they asked him to interview for the job. He interviewed. They liked what they saw. They had to know. This is the thing. You have to build a shield around your people sometimes, and he's their people now. And they just threw him to the wolves yesterday in the press conference. Uh, you can make your decision one way or the other on whether that's right or wrong. But the guy has been out of the game for a while. Let's see what he does. But here's where the little bit of the rub is. There's already rumors, and this could be because people aren't fond of him around the league, that he's already been tampering before he got the job with other management position people in other organizations. So
Well,
um,
that's
never
that's part
dull,
that's
never
part
dull.
that's part of the problem with hiring him is he's going to be considered guilty before innocent because of what he already did, and anybody
Yeah.
that starts a rumor is you're going to have that, right? So you're creating that problem. I ask you this question though. When we bring up the Moneyball Billy Bean thing, it was because you had to save money. Like, Toronto doesn't have to save money. You can just keep going through stuff, right? Like,
Yeah.
now they're like, "Oh, we got a budget. We suddenly got a budget,"
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
I think Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment, I think they went down the rabbit hole of data driven. And this guy kind of screams out data driven, right? And
He's the king of it.
yeah, so I think that's kind of, hey, if you want, it's like you and I can talk about something, and as long as you're saying something to me that I'm like, I agree with, man, we're getting along good. But as soon as you go, hey, you know what? Did you
I
think
don't like the
about
Ford
this?
Raptor.
Yeah, I don't like Ford pickups, right? You and I'd be like, all of a sudden it's like, oh, hey, yeah. And so I think that is that's where we are. Is Toronto is I just think you have to come out, and I'm not opposed to them trying something different. I'm not opposed to that at all. But I think if you're going to go this direction, get your stuff in order, put a shield up so you can, defend. And if we look back to the spring in Toronto, I said it earlier, it's been rough. And, that's a successful operation by any stretch of the imagination, because I mean, I think the Leafs are probably the most one of the most powerful and highest rated or worth organizations, but that's a tough way to start. And you have people that maybe still feel wronged from the past, that are also like, hey, this is garbage. But yeah, it was pretty lively. If you haven't seen any bits from the Toronto introductory press conference, you might want to check it out, because there's
Just the
clips all over.
emotions in the reporter. The reporter sounded like he was going to cry the whole time he was asking stuff.
Yeah.
He was like, was he up for the job and he didn't get it? Because that's the
Yeah.
way
So, well, they're going data driven, and Chayka's the guy. And then Matt Sundin, I'm sure Matt Sundin's going to have to be like the United Nations. He's going to have to go out, and he's gonna have to drink from the fire hose. But I think the biggest thing he can do is help connect with the fan base, connect with the players, and just kind of get his hands around what he knows, which is the hockey side of the business, and go from there. So we'll
accountable. You
see.
think he's there to teach the players accountability?
Well, I mean, he's revered, right? And
But he's never won, right?
well, but you know what? He's played a long, long time in the league. He kind of was Kopitar before Kopitar, this big classy centerman. Um,
But
Kopi
Kopitar
obviously has
won.
got a couple cups, right? But yeah, I mean, you gotta, if you're trying to kind
It
of.
reminds me a lot of when Vancouver brought in Trevor Linden.
Mhm. But
And
did they give Trevor Linden an opportunity to kind of
well,
really put a stamp on things?
I was going to say they didn't let it. The ownership got in front of what Trevor Linden could do with the team. Will Toronto do the same thing with Mats?
Well, I don't know. You've watched what's going on there this spring. I guess we'll just all
I
sit
don't think
back.
anybody's in charge of the house. I think everybody's it's remember that corner store from across from E.T. Kenny? Sandy's grocery
Was
little
that
corner.
across from E.T. Kenny, or was it across from Skeena?
No, it's E.T. Kenny. The
Okay.
one across from
Oh,
Ski.
yeah, yeah.
So the one from E.T. Kenny, right? E.T. Kenny, there was an old lady named Sandy that owned it, right? And she would only let two of us in at a time. Do you remember that?
Because she
Right?
was smart.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, because she was smart. Now go to the one across from Skeena.
yeah,
No rules, just a clusterfuck.
yeah,
That's what Toronto is,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. Everybody come on in. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
I don't know how
funny.
things got stolen. Next thing you know, Ravi's running into the front of the building.
Ravi.
You remember when Chokar did that? He missed the brakes and fucking ran into the front of the building. You were probably off playing hockey. Oh, Ravi.
uh, yeah, yeah. Well, we all made it somehow. We all got our license. I don't know.
Everything went well.
Yeah, it all turned out well.
But what I'm
So,
saying is there's got to be some sort of control on the team, right? I feel
mhm.
like that guy, Pelly,
Yeah,
I think I don't feel because he's got all of MLS, what is it, Maple Leafs sports, whatever.
yeah. Maple Leaf Sports Entertainment, I
So
guess.
so
Yeah.
so that's he's got all that, and it doesn't feel like the Maple Leafs are really, he kind of looks at them, but he doesn't really look at them.
I
To
think
me,
there's a lot of, and I don't know if this is true or not,
we've
but
got
there's
some
so much.
opinions on this show. We're not known for opinions of.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but I just think we're throwing it out there for people to look at and go, there's a reason why there's businesses, and you can sit and go, well, there's not much more impressive business in the Toronto Maple Leafs as far as NHL. And
But
I would, but
don't you think that that'll survive no matter what? Like I
well,
think
they
they
have. Yeah, they have through the worst times.
yeah.
Like, so you have to look at it and go, holy cow, we can be as bad, and we still sell out every night. We're still the biggest deal. We're still the front page all over Canada, which drives the other Canadian teams crazy because no matter what's going on, Montreal could have lost in triple overtime or won tomorrow night, or is it tonight? They start with Buffalo tomorrow. They could win in triple overtime, and there'll be something on the front page about one of the Leafs, right? So that's
Right.
just goes with the territory. So you have such a rabid fan base, but you you know, you got to find a way. And they've been good on the ice up until this year wasn't a great year for them. They have been good. They just haven't been able
They've
to
been
get to that
okay.
next level. And part of it is you just look and you go, like, all of a sudden, like, I don't know, like you go down, like they got so fixated. I remember the conference, press conference, Pelly was talking about, oh, data driven, data driven. We're going data driven. We're going data driven facts, you know, I think was the term. And I'm like, so there's a lot of good people around the league. And what you need in Toronto right now is stability and Tree Living, I think for the most part tried to provide that. They ran him out of town. So now you have the young up and coming guy who's still in his early 30s, right? Shaka. And and here we go. And here's the other thing. If he left on bad terms, okay, within the league, which he got suspended, right? And
Right.
everyone, by the way, should give Ryan the Smiths up in Utah a big hug for getting that, and Bill Armstrong for doing such a good job as GM.
Yeah.
Because now they're a model franchise in the NHL. Like 2 years ago, they were playing a 4,200 seat rink. But I just look and I'm like, how are the other GMs around the league going to interact with this guy? Because there's change all the time in the league, but a lot of the people are still in the same seats they were you know, not that long ago when he was in the league. So you have to wonder how the interaction with the other organizations is going to be. Are they going to freeze them out, or are they going to deal? And
Mhm.
you know, so it's going to be interesting. But they definitely have to go ground up in build the foundation back out there in Toronto and give their communications department a little
You know, it's
heads
funny.
up and get so they can work on a way to help shield some of their people. I mean, that was just a complete takedown yesterday.
Absolutely. I was instantly thought, oh, maybe they're trying to take some attention off of what's going on the ice, because that's the biggest show right now is up in the boardroom, not what your product is on the ice. My wife and I had an argument too last night about right after that question. She said, when's the Stanley Cup get take given? And I'm just like, I don't know. She goes, what do you mean you don't know? I'm like, "There's so many more games to go. The schedule changes. You don't know when it's going to happen." I'm like, well, some teams might win in 4, some might win in 7, so it's going to change. Oh, I don't like your attitude. Oh my God. I'm like, oh God, I cannot win today no matter what. Anyways,
No,
thank
well, that'll
Chaka
teach
for
you
ruining my whole family.
pretending like you were sick for 2 days. She had to drive you to and from your gigs. She's had
Yeah,
enough of you.
I was a
She's like,
puss.
yeah. So hey, we haven't talked in a week, but any takeaways from first round series and/or I would say mostly thinking Toronto, Tampa Bay, or sorry, Toronto. Man, I got Toronto
Oh,
in my mind.
look at you
Tampa
losing
Bay,
one.
Montreal, or any? Are you just
Well,
are
let's
you
go.
ready for the second round?
No, let's go. Let's go Tampa, Montreal. Let's go. Let's talk about how the offensive juggernaut of the Montreal Canadiens, nothing but shots. But it is also impressive how many shots Tampa got in front of, right? Like it's not that they weren't shooting, but at all. But even though it was absolutely disappointing no matter what, but boy, did Tampa I was like, I think it was like 6 shots on that one power play that they got in front of.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Montreal was able to win every other game, right? And they always were either in leading the series or tied, and Tampa was always chasing. And they ended up playing a great game seven. Tampa did, but you know, Montreal got 9 shots, right? They got a couple of really good bounces, but I look and I kind of look at Montreal and I go, you know, I mean, their goaltending was fantastic, but Montreal's found different ways to win. And
Mhm.
you know, you may be like, well, it was lucky, it was this, was that. You know,
That's part of the
Torts
game.
Torts says it all the time since he's been in Vegas. It's a find a way league. Montreal found a way. And
Yeah.
I mean, I watched John Cooper and how those guys play for him, and they weren't at the same level that, you know, they had some injuries, but I'm sure Montreal had some injuries too. And I will
I just
say this. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
if Corey Perry was on at the end. He's the oldest guy in the league. You know what I mean? And that was, I was like, oh my God, if Corey Perry's what you're going to at the end and nothing against Corey Perry, but you think there's got to be something new that you're putting on at the end of the game. And I'm going to interrupt myself and go that Hedman stop of that open net was maybe the best thing I've ever seen defensively. When he pulled that puck back out of the net when they're coming down. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Hagel?
No,
Hagel.
it wasn't Hedman. That was Hedman. Let's argue. Let's argue. Okay.
You can, that's fine. I don't remember the play.
Somebody's so
Was
at the end, who was it?
Emmy, can you pull up how many games Victor Hedman played in that series?
I thought he played the last one.
No, but
Oh yeah,
yeah,
you could
I
just
thought
say
you were
I had
talking
the
about
flu.
Hagel.
I had the flu and I was watching it.
If that's 77, yeah, okay.
I don't know. I don't know.
I didn't see every play in the game, so I'm
Yeah,
gonna be like, yeah.
you said I went back and watched this one, so you know who it was. You mentioned to me. I was talking to you on the phone while it happened. So was it Hagel?
Okay, who was the Montreal player? It was open net, right? Empty net.
It was starts with an S.
Slavkovsky.
Mm-hmm.
It
Ends
was
with an S.
Hagel. It was
It was
Hagel.
Hagel. You feel better about yourself now that you made me
No,
feel bad?
we're not really factual, but I just was like, you might want to look and see
Forged.
how
I'm
many
moving it.
games 77 played in that series. And
You got me. He was sick. He was sick with a knee.
I don't know. You just wanted to keep going with it. And I was like, okay, well, we'll keep going with it. But
Well, you called Montreal Toronto.
I did. I know. So
I'm
we
a,
never really shake people down, but it's very concerning when the original six teams are special. Like they just special teams. And when I see stuff like what they're doing in Toronto, I'm like, what are you guys doing? And believe I was in Detroit. It wasn't like I was in love with Toronto. I mean, I grew up watching them every night on hockey or every
hated him.
Saturday. But I look and I go, it's better. And so like to get back to Montreal, whether you love a team or hate a team, the original six teams when they're involved are great. And Montreal now, original six team found a way. And here's what I would say, going back to Tampa, and you talk about Corey Perry. Corey Perry is a monster in front of the net. They just could never really get it to the front of the net. And one of the things I've noticed about these younger teams and the way it's going, and we'll talk about some of these other teams in a minute, is their pace. And Montreal has some guys and some pace. And even though Tampa outshot them like 26 or 28-9, had a great amount of the play. Montreal was always just quick enough, and their goaltender was amazing, but they were just quick enough to get to where they needed to get in the series and ultimately win it.
That's
Maybe a
what I
little
think.
quicker, right?
That's what I think the difference was, right? That they were a little bit younger, a little bit quicker.
Yeah, and
But
they weren't with their experience from last year. I think they're a team that really showed that they learned from it, and you can call it whatever you want. They found a way, and
it doesn't matter how you win, right?
that's
As long as you win.
they're not critiquing wins at this time of year. Like they're looking and going, "Hey boys, we need more than 9 shots tomorrow night in Buffalo." There's no question about that. But there's some things about the way they defended, the way their goalie is able to see the puck and even make some saves he's not supposed to make, that they're got to be really happy with.
That stop, but that Hagel Hedman stop was unreal. That was
The,
unreal. Like
the Hagel heady.
the Hagel Heady was absolutely unreal. I was just like he seemed to gain 3 inches in his body and just kind of stretch out a little bit more. You're like, oh my God. Oh my God, it was very impressive. Anyway, and congratulations to Montreal, and congratulations to Brian Almy, who produces with us. He's a big Montreal fan, so he's probably got a BI owner going on into the next round. Where do you think they match up with Buffalo?
Well, you get to this point in the season, there's 32 teams to start, there's 8 left. So you certainly cannot, you can sit there and go, well, this team's favored or that team's favored, but you just never know. They've all done something special. They've all gone through some crazy adversity. Now, Buffalo and both Montreal did. Um, I think Buffalo's a little different animal than Tampa, but depending on the goaltending, like you're going to sit there and go, well, Vasilevsky's as good as it gets. Like if you're building a team tomorrow, right? Do you take him first, right? As a goalie.
Hmm.
So, but Alex Lyons come in, and Buffalo played really well. Buffalo's D is, I think, a little bigger, a little bit more mobile than Tampa. And the other thing is their forwards a little bit more pace, a little bit more size up front. So Montreal's going to have their hands full with that. But I mean, when you take on a very savvy team like Tampa and get by them, um, bodes pretty well for you, right? Because Buffalo, this is their
Yeah.
first kick at the cat too. Like they haven't been around in a long time. So
Well, Montreal made it in last year, right? So they might have that edge where it comes to experience.
yeah,
So
I mean they played in some really tough games, and this year they played in really tough games. The nice thing for Montreal is 2 days off between games, so I'm guessing they would have flown up to Buffalo from Tampa yesterday, kind of relax a little bit, got to get a practice in today, and then they get
got
ready to
some
go.
wings, sat down, had a beer,
Yeah,
went
yeah.
over to
So
went over to the cereal factory, got a bowl full of Post Shreddies, had a
Shreddies are the best.
Shreddies are the best.
Um.
Let's
Oh,
what
okay. That's
what?
what.
Well, no,
That's
you
what.
had it. I was going to say let's move over to the other series that's 2 games in already.
Okay, yeah, we'll get to the Oilers. I think we talked to them earlier, but
We got talked about the Oilers, but
yeah, we'll get
get to
okay. Carolina, it's the same thing over and over and over again. And the big thing for Philly is if they can get this series prolonged a bit, so they can start to like it takes some time to get you talk to people around the league. There's not a lot of teams play like Carolina. Carolina's kind of one unto itself, and when they get going and they just blitz you basically. And Philly got blitzed in the first game. They managed to get it into overtime in the second game and actually played very well. So they got to
They played
find a
great.
way to get back and get start with their next game three, get that game and prolong this series a little bit so they can kind of get more of a handle on Carolina, because Carolina is not going to throw much different at you. They're going to give you the same thing over and over again. But
Mhm.
sometimes you don't play a lot of teams that play like Carolina. They come test everything all over the ice, and so if Philly can get game three, kind of get that under their belt and start to curtail Carolina's forecheck and their attack, because their forecheck is in hard, their D's down pinching on the wall hard. So that takes some getting used to because they're in your face, and Philly did a good job of offsetting that in game two. Just couldn't get the win.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a yeah, I felt bad for the goalie there. He just got it's kind of bounced a little bit too much for him at the end there. But I don't think it's over. I think it goes at least 5. Well, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, Philly, they just, you could say, oh, Philly's playing with the house's money, but um, they're another team, right? There's another team that just surged at the end of the year. Um, it'll be just nuts in Philly, and just got to find a way. Like Carolina is a Grizzly, and for Carolina, if it's not this year, then when, right?
Right.
Like this year,
It's kind of got a
this is
feeling. It's kind of got a feeling of going that direction this year,
yeah,
doesn't it?
yeah. So Philly's going to have to kind of figure out, I think they got a handle on the way Carolina played in game two. I think they go home. And yeah, I think they get a game at home, and hopefully for Philly fans, it's game three, and then you focus on evening up the series after that. But yeah,
And
this is must win.
I thought it was great I think it's great for Taylor Hall to be doing what he's doing there too. Like such a talented suitcase that's traveled around the league that just hasn't been able to grip on, and it feels like this may be the place, right? So
Yeah, it is. One of the things you notice about people when I mean, well, we're 9 years in here in Vegas, right? So you get to see everybody come through. Obviously, he's been with some different teams, but one of the things I noticed about him, and you can see it on TV, it's like this is not new news, but he's an incredible skater. And this was a guy that's kind of flirted with greatness throughout his career, right?
Mhm.
I mean, he was
Number
top
one.
shelf, yeah, and he's won some big awards, but now he's kind of, I don't know, he's the focal point by not being a focal point. Like, you know what I mean? He's moved himself back in the conversation. This guy's to be dealt with, and he's out there. He's got a bit of an edge. He'll take a run at you, and he gets mixed up in some of the fracas out there sometimes. So, but his skating is elite, even to this day with all these young guys coming in. So, he's found a way with under Rod Brindamore to rekindle that. And
Is it his second year there or third year there?
you know what? I think he was traded over there last year, second half of the season, if I'm not mistaken. So I believe it's year two. And Florida really laid a number on them last year in the playoffs.
Mhm.
There's no Florida. And plus, the other thing is, you get, as they say, scar tissue. They have the scar tissue from having to line up against, some of those heavyweights in the East, especially Florida in the last year in playoffs. And so I think it was the last 2 years for Florida. And so I think they've learned from that. Let's see what Philly can do when they get home.
Did you go to the game last night?
Yes, I did.
Where'd you guys sit? The whole family go? I know a lot
Yeah,
of families
well,
go
the whole
down.
family and all two of us. But yeah,
Oh,
um,
aren't the girls in town? I thought the girls were in.
no, 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 not to the big weekend coming up. But yeah, we went, and I'll say this: I hadn't seen Anaheim in a while, and wow. Um, I'm not going to say, I mean, who knows what they'll do this year, but this team looks like it's on the way to be a cup contender for many, many years. They are so fast. They're much bigger than you might give them credit for. And they can move. And I
Do you
am
remember that
really
year we went and
impressed.
seen? You remember when we went and seen them? We went to the about I think 3 or 4 years back. We went to the rookie tournament.
Hmm.
Remember how big they were then?
Yeah. You tip your hat. Verbeek, general manager Verbeek has done an unbelievable job. Coach Q, our boy Ryan McGill's coaching over there. Jay Woodcroft's on the bench. He was up in Edmonton. Ryan McGill was here in Vegas for a long time, working with the D. And I got to tell you, Anaheim they are a load, and they're not with these young guys.
Yeah.
Man, um, it's funny because Lacombe, like they signed him starting next year. Jackson Lacombe makes 9 million a year or something like that. And on the surface, you're like, oh my goodness. You watch this kid play, like he's 6'2", 6'3". He skates like his edge work and his ability to accelerate or change direction is incredible. So U.S. Olympic team, he's going to be. You can just put him on the team. I would say for the next two Olympics at least. Amazing. He controls the play. He's out there against the top forwards on the other line.
Hmm.
Truba has just refound like the fountain of youth. He looks phenomenal out there. Mishkov's another young D, but Leo Carlson, who was drafted behind Bedard, I think. Wow, wow,
Yeah.
is he going to be something? Or he is something. But so they're on a really nice trajectory in Anaheim. Really nice, and they're going to be a force out here in the Pacific for a long time now. From when you go, oh, Edmonton was this and Edmonton was that. Edmonton was a lot of things, right? Guys were banged up, and but Anaheim, um, don't sleep on them. I'll tell you that.
Somebody said McDavid to Anaheim in 2 years.
I tell you what, if you found a way to get him in that lineup,
Oh,
it is a track meet. And you know what? They can be physical too. Yeah, Vegas got their hands full here. And but if you just look at, we talked earlier about there's six new teams in the top eight: Montreal, Buffalo, Philly, Anaheim. They can all fly. Mini,
yeah.
we know what Mini is, right? Like just a really strong, in your face kind of team with some great additions. And I'm trying to think. I'm blanking on the next one. Who's the other one we're missing? That's new.
Colorado. No,
Yeah,
Colorado.
Colorado get knocked out in the first round last year. I guess they did.
Yeah.
So talk about a track meet.
It's just Vegas and Carolina from last year, right?
Yeah, so I guess so who was it? Dallas last year, and then but
Dallas, Winnipeg, right?
Was it Dallas Winnipeg in round 2? That was round 1, I thought. But it doesn't matter. We got all the teams. So
Uh,
I
hey,
forget who.
let's talk about Vegas before we move on, because I think Mitch Marner's just looks like he's got a lot of bricks off his shoulders and able to play like the way he can play. So
Yeah.
when you root for a person, it's kind of that's who I'm rooting for, is him.
Yeah, you know what? I got to tell you, you see him, over 82 games here, and the things he does when he first got here, like people weren't ready for the passes, and everyone's like, "What's going on?" But I mean, it takes time. Different team, different city. I mean, he's down in Vegas versus Toronto, plus different conference. I don't care what anybody says. You change conferences, you
Yeah,
stay in the
lot going
division,
on there.
you know what's going on. You change conferences, and the other thing is you change systems. The guy moves from right wing to center. Like, who does that?
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, watching him play, wow, he's really starting to elevate. And last night he had some really good chances. Um, and they're trying to be physical on the top guys, and he has a way of sliding off. He has a way of moving the puck before he sees things before it's there. If you go back and look at Howden's goal from the first goal of the series, Marner's got it and he passes through 3 or 4 guys, 2 or 3 guys to get it to him. So yeah, tip your hat. And he's definitely elevated. There's no question about it. And
Yeah.
he's pretty damn good to start with. So
Pretty good. Pretty good. All
yeah,
right, let's talk about Edmonton and what's going to happen in Edmonton, otherwise known as Toronto West.
I think I love the cadness of McDavid and Draisaitl. Um, it's black and white with those 2 guys, and I just my takeaway was everybody's on notice. They put everybody on notice, and
Cap,
whether you want to start at the top of the organization or the bottom, I don't think they're going bottom, but they need the bottom up, so they need to bring everybody with them. But yeah, it was very, very informative.
Coach Cassidy to there.
I don't know, Butchie, hell of a coach, boy. He's going to have his pick of a lot of different places.
My dog just walked by with a sombrero on for Cinco de Mayo.
How long did that take?
It's like, huh.
Yeah, that's right. Happy Cinco de Mayo, right? So
Sorry,
yeah, but
Coach Cassidy. What do you think,
Coach
Coach Cassidy
Cassidy, I
there?
think
Does
he could
Knobloch
pick.
run his course?
I don't know. You know what? I think Edmonton, just a lot of stuff added up this year. I think they need to have a look at who, they might have to move some guys out that have been there a long time, to help get, like, you can't get
Who do
something
you
for
think?
nothing.
Who do you think? Who do you think? I think Nurse is gone.
Well, they could look to move Darnell Nurse, who
You're going to
you know
get
what?
something for him. You
Yeah.
need to get rid of one piece to get 2 pieces.
And you know what? A guy that I really like that's been there a long time, but they might have to, because they need to get something back. Like for Nurse, okay, where are you going to go with him, right? There's teams that want him
Yeah.
100%. It just kind of almost seems like the Stuart Skinner thing up there. Like they just can't wait to get somebody else in. Well, they got somebody else in for Stuart Skinner, and it didn't really work out off the top, right? Not saying it can't work out. So you got to be careful what you wish for, right? Because Darnell Nurse has been there a long time. He's healthy. He plays a lot of games for you. So be careful. I know everyone's like, oh, the ticket, the sticker price. Well, guess what? It is what it is. He didn't go in there and tell him,
But they have so much financials on so little people. They have to get rid of some people to bring in some, like it's not like the sticker price is one or two, like through 5 guys, 7 guys. It's between 2 guys, really. The sticker price is between 2 guys. So you have a couple other ones that are just below that, and I think you gotta risk it. You kind of got to risk it. You got to get more pieces, so
well,
that those guys aren't doing all the ice time.
between McDavid and Draisaitl and
My
those
nose
guys
suddenly
with
got very red.
yeah, I think it's a good base. When you're back further, you have a nice base. Um, I gotta get. I was telling Ryan McGilly, and I'm like, Gilly, you got a great base. Him and Q, they look good. They've been enjoying Southern Cal. It's been good for them. Um, I think you've got McDavid and Draisaitl, so those guys could make more than they make in Edmonton anywhere. So you kind of strike them off. But if you look at McDavid, Draisaitl, Bouchard, and Nurse, what's that? Over 40 million, right?
Hyman.
Yes, and then Hyman, right? Anybody would take him too. So the guy I look at that they're going to have to make a decision on, and he's been just an amazing player for them, is Nugent Hopkins. Because if you put Nuge out there, as they say,
Hmm.
Nuge, uh,
The nudge.
and you're going to get something for him because every team, and then you go, well, he plays left wing, but he was playing center. Like he moves, he's on the power play, he moves in and out with those guys. If you can bring Jason Dickinson back and you go McDavid, Draisaitl, Dickinson, right? And
Hmm.
then whatever Henrique, if he comes back, or, I'm not sure how you worry about your fourth center, but then you can get somebody back from Nugent Hopkins. And I'm not saying, but I'm just saying Hyman's been
What he
injured
is
the last
saying.
2 years. And I'm like, Nugent Hopkins is a guy that moves the needle. And so, and you can throw stones at me all you want. I might be over my skis, but I'm just saying if Nurse will get you something, if you really want that, but then you got to replace those minutes. And then Nugent Hopkins, what is your goal? Are you going to get a goalie? Or are you going to get another defenseman? Because to me, if I watch Edmonton, I'm not thinking another forward in Edmonton. I'm thinking someone that'll give them some good, solid goaltending and maybe a D. Like I like Murphy there, and a little bit more defensive structure. So we have to slow down to speed up in Edmonton. So because they've been at the finals twice in the last 3 years. Just saying. Um, I don't know. And now you know the rest of the story.
I'm like, what if they traded for Demko, but he only plays 30 games and the playoffs? That's basically what he plays. So you keep him low. But Vancouver did that stupid thing where they gave Demko a bunch of money, right?
Well,
Um,
Demko, if he's healthy, I mean,
if he's healthy, he's unbelievable.
I
If
think
he's
he's top
healthy.
three, top three, top five for me, Demko, when he's going. But he's on an extension. What's he making?
I'll put it
Six?
out. I'll put this out there as well. I think something happens in Dallas with Ottinger. I don't
Okay,
I
okay.
don't
But are
I
you
don't
gonna
think
go?
I don't think you'll see him in green again.
Okay, then who is out there that you plug in? Casey DeSmith. Mallard loves Casey DeSmith. Done a great job. And
Mallard's
DeSmith,
drunk.
but remember, DeSmith in Vancouver was great.
Yeah.
So is Casey DeSmith enough to get you, or do you need
Nope.
another? Do you need another guy? Right, like Ottinger, and maybe like we might see some crazy trades. So maybe they do Nurse and Nugent Hopkins as a start for Ottinger. I don't know, or maybe they just make the deal. But Dallas has got to make money work too because Jason Robertson, is he coming back? Like that's the whole thing now. Is
Mhm.
Edmonton already has 8 million between Jari and Campbell, who's not even there anymore. Connor Ingram was really, you know what? I really liked him there last year. Pickard gave him what he could. I think Connor Ingram comes back. Does Jari? Do they? I mean,
The
they.
problem the problem with Edmonton and goalies is you can't be patient. These
Well, are
guys
they?
have these guys have all got an upside, but they've all got an upside, but it's not a now side.
Well, they were after Jari with the torches and pitchforks. I mean, he barely put his hockey gear on there, and that's part of the deal when it's a win now. So,
Hmm.
anyways, Edmonton will be fun to watch because I got the sense, and after watching Anaheim in person again, I hadn't seen him. I watched him on TV. I hadn't seen him in person for a while because they got done with the Knights early this year. Um, I'm going to tell you, after like when Draisaitl said they were just better, that is the avenue I would go down versus, yeah, Edmonton was banged up, but I'm not sure Edmonton gets by them regardless. Like Anaheim, is the real deal. And they're kind of sounding the alarm in Edmonton. It's like those two guys are like, hey, we need to find a way.
Right.
But talking about sounding the alarm, they sounded it 15 times in Colorado the other night. What do you think of that many in
My God.
Colorado?
That was you're just like, huh, okay. Let's see the next game. Do you wanna like how many goals are scored in this series?
Oh, I think, I mean, if you have
Close to
anybody
100.
on those two teams in your pool,
Yeah.
I could see 5-4 in the next one. I could. I don't think we're going to get higher than that, although it's possible. I think we could get 5-4. We'll definitely get my under over is 7 goals. So I think we'll get at least 4-3.
The winning goalie's just got to be able to stop six. Like, like
Could you imagine? Hey, if you knew before the game, if you can stop, if you only let in 6, we're going to win. Actually, you know what? But we have a 2-goal buffer. You can let in 8.
oh my God. It was so many goals. You're just like, wow. I think Colorado obviously was a little bit had a little bit of rest in their souls at the beginning, but once they took off, holy crap.
I was talking to Trevor about it the other night, and we were talking about it, and I go, a 3-goal lead is not safe, right? But you can score, you can have 12 shots and score 4 goals, or you can have 9 shots and win. When
Yeah,
like so, Utah had 12 shots against Vegas and scored 4 goals. Montreal gets 9 against Tampa and win. But a 3-goal lead is not safe in the league anymore. I mean, back in the
love it.
day, we could turn our TVs off and go outside and enjoy the weather when a team went up by 3, right?
Yeah,
Because it was basically tackle football after that. It was like hook and hold and tie guys up and make it so hard. Now 3 goals is, and their team's like, well, I guess we should get going. And so in the mini series, Colorado goes up 3, mini comes back. They somehow get it to 6-6 after 2. And then I was really impressed with Colorado. Again, you see things in teams, and I'm not throwing many to the curb, but you things in teams, and their third period was like, we're going to find another gear. And boy, did
yeah.
they ever find another gear.
It
So,
seemed like they found
yeah.
two more gears. I love it. I love it. One team has 9 shots, and one game has 9 shots, and the other game has 15 goals.
I mean,
I
if you're a fan of the NHL, like, and
It's like
before, like,
they got a call. Look, we didn't have many shots. Get a lot of goals.
yeah, it's crazy. It's very. Um, I love the game. I know some people. Like I know we were TNT did such a good job, but it's like they were all over it. Like Anson Carter and Rick Bowness were like, "Oh my God, this is unbelievable." But I'm like, you know what? 15 goals. The casual hockey fan's going to look at that. That was going to get play all over the place. You're going to get more eyes in your product. And I'm just the speed that I witnessed last night at T-Mobile, and I know it was turned out to be a 3-1 game with an empty netter. There were opportunities for that game to have 6-7 goals in it. No, like the speed these guys counter on now, and so in that Minnesota game, Colorado game, I mean, McCarr was unbelievable. Hughes was unbelievable. McKinnon was flying around.
It
Um,
was
nuts.
the problem with the whole thing is you really don't get the experience unless you're there. It's still a live game, right? With the speed. Like it's
Yeah.
pretty great on TV. It's like gotten really good on TV. But you don't change somebody until they go to a game. You can have casual fans that watch, but if you go, man, I don't get it, right? You go to a game, you get it.
Yeah. Um, and you end up spending a lot of time watching it on the couch when you're at home. Sometimes it's better just to go to the game at 7. Like, I mean, watching
Right.
Tampa and Montreal, then Colorado and many the other night, you're like, oh man, I got stuff to do, but you're trying to work it in around because it's so captivating what's going on. And tip your hat. I mean, the league is probably one of the most competitive places they've ever been, and the speed though is insane. The speed, like I look back, we
It's
used to
NASCAR.
think Yeah, and you watch guys like I'll give you an example. Like when McDavid gets the puck, everyone's like, "Whoa!" Well, Leo Carlson got the puck last night in Vegas. I don't even know how many times, half a dozen at least, and he wound it up. And I'm like, this guy is unbelievable. Beckett Seneca, I think, just turned 20 years, 19 years old. Here's a 19-year-old kid, 20-year-old kid out there flying around. Yeah, he's still learning his way, but he's doing stuff that's just insane.
Mhm.
And so, you know, tomorrow night or tonight, who do we get tonight? We get Colorado, or we get Tuesday night
Yeah.
is Colorado Mini, which is
Mhm.
already enough said about that series. Then you get to see Buffalo and Montreal, you know, and then Vegas is with Anaheim after them. But on Wednesday, it's insane what's going on. So tip of the hat. And
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the best time of the year. It's the
yeah, it's.
best time of the
Hey,
year.
can I tell you a little story? I don't know if we've talked since then.
Great
So
life story.
a little story, not a big one. Uh, we're getting ready. It's you can go to the lake a lot of if what's left of Lake Mead, it's still hanging in there in Vegas. You
That's
can go to the
funny.
lake a lot year round if you really want without the wind. So I had to wash the boat tarp the other day, and I'm in the laundromat in Boulder City, Nevada. Great place, Boulder City, awesome. Um, and I'm in there and I'm washing the boat cover, and Andy Williams comes on. Christmas song, the most wonderful. It's the most wonderful time of the year by Andy Williams. I'm sitting in the laundromat in May in Boulder City, Nevada, listening to Christmas music and just loving it. So it really is the most
It
wonderful
is the
time of the
most
year.
wonderful time of the year.
Yep,
Andy Williams knows exactly what I'm
yep,
talking about. This is the
yep.
best. Jesus loved hockey.
He did. He did.
Uh,
We were going to take Emmy down a little bit today, but we might have to save that for next week because I know we're running.
we got to get it going because Emmy's got to go buy a new Ferrari.
Yeah, Emmy said he had to push us up today because Emmy's going to get a Ferrari, and I just wish Emmy, like I did last night, I'm going to say it again to you today. Good luck. Go and grind them hard on that Ferrari. They're dealing right now on those Ferraris.
Remember, if you got to look at the price, you can't get it.
Guys, I only said I was going to get a Ferrari if it was in periwinkle blue. If they don't have periwinkle blue, I'm not going.
That's really funny.
But Volkswagen makes Ferraris, right?
Hey, I'm sure. I'm sure they do. Electric too. So
Yeah, electric.
An
yeah, good
electric
luck. And
Ferrari.
hey, you know what? If you don't like what they say when you walk in there, there's lots of Ferrari dealerships in SoCal. I mean, just walk right out.
Walk right out.
That's exactly what I'll do. Hey, real quick before we wrap up, a little playoff pool action here.
Oh, yes, yes. And
Round
Brian,
one, we ended with a four-way tie.
ooh,
Second place, we got Cam Miller. Third place, Sev Mania's out because he chose two losers. And then Emmy is out because LA Kings just didn't do anything. But the Kings are still in. But I'm gonna bow out of this one. So right now in round two, we've got a two-way tie, and we're waiting on some other games to get started.
nice.
Right. Hey, what would you say to Cam Miller, Lord Bagg, if you had one thing to say to him?
Hey, Cam, how are you?
Uh,
We got to get him a hoodie.
he's all bent out of shape because he didn't get a hat. And he was right in
No,
the
he can't
garage.
have
I
a
had a
hat, but he can
hat
have a
for him.
hoodie.
I tried to give him a hat. I said it was for his son, Austin. I'm like, here, take a hat. Oh, no, 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 no. So I'm like, Cam, don't whine to Kim. And then it ends up coming through Molly that you didn't get a hat. Just,
That's
you should have
hilarious.
taken it,
Don't
right?
don't don't cry to your wife.
Don't do it. Just take the hat. I tried to give you an off ramp. I said it's for Austin. So
Oh my
it
God.
really
Plug your
was.
nostrils, push some air out of you, and let your balls drop.
By the way, Cam Miller still has one dog in the fight, the Buffalo Sabres. So he's waiting it out to get onto
Oh,
the leaderboard.
oh, he's waiting.
Yeah, that's pretty good for a guy that plays hockey about 4 times a week. He got one team left, but I do like Buffalo. I do like Buffalo.
Buffalo, pretty good.
It's wide open. I would say for whoever your team is. I think it's like Philly. Okay, got a little bit of an uphill climb, but I think it's wide open.
I love it. Thanks, Emmy.
Thanks, Sammy. Shoutouts.
Do you have one? Do you want to
Yeah,
go with
I got
me?
one. I got one.
Okay, go.
Good friend of mine. Gonna give a little plug here. If you're, I know in Australia it'd be tough to get your car to Vegas, but First Choice Auto in Boulder City, Nevada, one of the great places of our country here down in the lower 48, I guess, or the 50 states. If you're in Vegas, pop out to Boulder City. Ted from First Choice Auto, he runs it. He's taken great care of us over the years. His mom is not feeling great right now, so we're thinking of you, Ted, and your mom. And if you want to, and we went out for breakfast with him and his son Mason the other day and his lovely wife and their little new boy Levi, but unbelievable family and great person. Who's we're thinking of his mom right now, so a shout out to Ted and his family. That's just great people. So
That's nice. I'm going to throw one. I'm going to throw it to the Axelsons, Keith and Kelly Axelson up in Terrace, British Columbia. Keith is the high school principal. Kelly is I know she does robotics. I think she teaches robotics, but she runs robotics club as well. She also takes the kids to Europe every 2 years, but just invested in their community. Just good people invested in their community. I always have a great laugh with them. They have such a funny sense of humor, great kids. And I got to see them last week, and they don't listen to the podcast, but I'm giving them a shout out because they're just good. They're good people.
right on, they are. Keith, helping educate the youth of Terrace, and we're thankful for that. Love to all.
Loved all.